Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today is the 9th of February. Today is Tuesday, 2021. Yesterday, Monday, President Joe Biden rang up Prime Minister Narendra Modi and he discussed regional security with him. The topic that they chose is extremely important for Pakistan because they chose regional security in what they call Indo-Pacific region. This is the new terminology which the Americans had invented. Uh, Indo-Pacific, they call it. Previously, it was the Pacific region, so now they call it the Indo-Pacific region. And he talked about creating a bulwark against China, in which the informal group, the Quad, will be involved. Quad includes India, Japan, Australia, and the United States of America. China obviously is very upset. They want the Americans to shed this Cold War mentality. Uh, Last year there was a naval exercise in which these four countries participated. This year there is a naval exercise which Pakistan is conducting, which is called Aman 21, in which China and Russian navies would be involved and some other Gulf countries would be involved. So a regional grouping is coming up which resembles very much the Cold War model. Uh, what do you think, Mohammed, Pakistan should be doing in the present circumstances?
I don't think this concerns Pakistan at all. I don't think Pakistan needs to worry about it. As discussed in previous videos, Biden is going back to what him and Obama had been doing for the 8 years that they were in power. Do you remember they came up with this acronym called APAC? What will happen is that the terminology or the narrative about what the Pacific is going to change to include India. But I think China doesn't need to worry so much because the US is too far from China, and China is bigger than Australia, Japan, and India, and it doesn't really pose any threat to them. In fact, if anything, they need China to provide them with cheap goods and materials. What it is it's just a narrative, and Biden is going to try to push this narrative. Pakistan, in fact, should be very happy. It's not part of any new acronyms or part of any big global players who are out to reduce its influence. What Pakistan should do is it should stick close to its allies. It should stick close to say Russia or Turkey, to countries that are open to,
And China.
and China, who are open to conducting exercise, military exercise with them, countries that are willing to export and import from them. And Pakistan should not worry so much about Quads and the Western democracies, because I don't think that Pakistan friends in any way of any shape or form. They just like applying pressure on Pakistan where needed, when needed, and when there's no need, they don't even talk to Pakistan.
So Pakistan needn't worry about it. This emerging alliance, which they call the Quad, and which they also say that it's a democratic alliance, so to speak. They're trying
Pakistan
to.
should be very happy. It's not part of this narrative. It's Indo-Pacific. It's Quad. Pakistan is nowhere in this pocket. There's no APAC. There's no war in Pakistan. No war in Afghanistan. Pakistan should just be happy the way it is. So when Trump was there were no acronyms. Trump went out and did what he wanted to do. So Biden is going to do what Obama did. He is going to overcomplicate things by conducting diplomacy all over the place with new acronyms and new alliances. But at the end of the day, the country that is actually doing work is China. China may make a fuss about Quad, but even China knows that Quad can't do anything about it.
Okay, and the American and the Indians are also talking about rolling out vaccines as diplomatic offensive. So, do you think that is going to make any difference? Because China and Russia are also giving out their vaccines free of cost. China has given some vaccines to Pakistan free of cost. India has given vaccines to Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, again as a part of you can say diplomatic campaign to up the ante and show that they are the bigger vaccine producing country. So do you think that
I think anybody dealing with the US for vaccines is going to have a much tougher time, because US vaccines are more difficult to store. They may be more effective, but they're difficult to transport, difficult to store. even difficult to roll out. Whereas the Chinese vaccine and the Russian vaccines, they're much simpler for low income countries to take and adopt to. And you got to think about what Trump was doing when he was in power. He was going to India and calling Modi to the US with this howdy modi campaigns and football stadium presentations. But at the end of the day, nobody's anybody's friend. Whatever Biden's doing, it's to counter what China is doing here. But you may blame Trump, may blame anybody, but I think the US is going to start getting isolated because it's far away. There's a whole ocean between Russia and China and Pakistan and the US. So there's countries that are on the same land area. I think they can collaborate much better.
But they are in Afghanistan. They'll still need Pakistan's help to get out.
Yeah, absolutely. And some time ago, not some time ago, many years ago, I read this article and I don't know if it's true anymore, but it said that all the areas in Afghanistan that the Americans are clearing for their bases, they're cleaning the area for Chinese businessmen to come in and establish their businesses. So that's a blunder on the Americans' part. I wouldn't be surprised if it's still happening.
So the Quad will mean that they are going to lose out to the Chinese in Afghanistan.
It's just a narrative play. I think nothing's going to change.
Okay, more of the same.
Yeah.
So Pakistan needs to sit tight and to do what it's doing. What's best for its own
For
country.
Pakistan's sake, I hope it does more than what's needed. But yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So this is all from us for tonight. We'll be looking in for your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.